Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a general and timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that there's this new beginning that you're stepping into. But I'm seeing it really feel like it tests you, like it tests your willpower, it tests your grit. You may feel like you're required to show up and show up strongly, to really be in a space where you are expressing yourself, where you're like cheering yourself on, where you're motivating yourself. Because I'm seeing that this chapter may not be an easy one for you, and it can also be something that's like triggering you to fall into a mentality where you're not believing in yourself, just because this may be something where it can be a chapter where you're like, I don't feel like I'm starting off with the type of support that I need, or there are things within the environment that would be more ideal to have right now that I don't. So I'm seeing you may feel like you're kind of starting this chapter at a disadvantage. But I'm seeing your guides be like, you need to cheerlead yourself through this. Like, you need to motivate yourself to get through this. Because I'm seeing, like, the most important thing about this is you believing in you. And that's really what's going to push you through. And to not be compromising. And to really show up. For some of you, this is about who you've been spending time with, who you've been calling your friend, or your friends, who you've been socializing with, who you're letting in to your inner circle, into your personal life. You may find that you have very different values from someone or a group of people. This can also be like different beliefs that you feel like may conflict or don't allow you to continue a friendship, something like that. Or you may just be changing your expectations around. You could have had a situation and been like, I don't know how I feel about being treated this way. I'm still trying to like sort through that emotionally for myself. I'm seeing it have social implications here. Like connected with either like coworkers or like people that you spend time with. It can be your friends for some of you. But you may feel like your guides are talking to you through this process and maybe wanting to show you something that you're still sort of coming to terms with within this setting. You're still feeling something out here. It seems like it's allowing you to look into and reevaluate something socially that you've been participating in. I'm seeing images of this like cartoon alien, but I don't know what it's from. It looks kind of like a duck or like a lizard. I have no clue what this is from. I'm just seeing the image of it, but I cannot place it. Maybe something from Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars, so I don't know. It's really just this shot in the dark. Yeah, for some of you, these are definitely people that you've been working with. But for those of you that this is not within a work setting, this can be, like for some of you, these are like actual coworkers that you are working with, that you are figuring out your connections with these people and like sort of how to move through things where you are emotionally connected, something sort of a somewhat confusing situation happened or a situation where you're still processing like how you feel about it based off of how you're being treated within the connection, within the relationship. Some of you, this is coworkers. For others of you, this can be people that you feel like you have like soul contracts with these people and you are working with them like in that way, okay? I'm definitely seeing a familiar energy to the last reading too coming through here. This can be like I'm in a work setting where I don't feel supported. I'm having trouble with my coworkers. I'm the only one showing up doing work. Like they're not doing their part. They're not doing their job. Or you can feel like you're being left out too. Like nobody's communicating with me what's going on. I feel like I'm like the black sheep of this group of people. It can be like that too. And that may be, for some of you, this is like triggering feelings of abandonment. Like this is triggering stuff from your childhood coming up for you. Not going to miss an opportunity to bring that up here. Yeah, this is definitely triggering something for you that is like unpleasant that you're aware of, but you're still sort of working through. And this situation has like some parallels to something you experienced in the past. And now it's sort of all coming up, but you've been working on it, but you're not all the way through yet. And you may just be in a spot where you're like, I don't want to deal with this on top of everything else. But I'm seeing your guides be like, why is that your attitude here? Because it seems like this is sort of like a catalyst or an opening for you to maybe deal with something from the past. And so you can kind of deal by processing through this situation effectively. It's going to help you heal and close a door from the past that's still semi-open, that can be shut and walked away from. Like a double feature. Yeah, if you like identify with being the black sheep and sort of like not fitting in and stuff like that, this situation is definitely something that is like reinforcing that like internalized label that you give yourself. But it's also bringing to light an opportunity for you to reflect on like why that is. Like, why do you feel like you don't belong? For some of you, I'm seeing so many things that are saying that this is a work situation, like over and over and over again. I'm seeing you actually kind of like isolate yourself from this group of people. It's not going to be a work situation for everybody, but for many of you, I'm seeing this definitely be a work situation. So yeah, I'm seeing you sort of pull back. At first, you may have felt like it wasn't your choice to sort of be on the outskirts of this group, but then I'm seeing you do something where you're like, I'm actually going to take this time to pull myself out from this and sort of like reflect on why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. Because I'm seeing you like really don't feel good about what happened. And you being in a space where you're like, I want to understand this because I don't like the way that I'm feeling right now. You may have gotten very, very uncomfortable by being in some sort of like ambiguous emotional situation as well. Like something could have really thrown you off and you're like, what is this and what's going on here? Like, I don't like the fact that I don't have a clear idea of what's happening on the emotional front for me. And that may be triggering, you know, like for some of us too, that were raised in situations that felt emotionally ambiguous. Now, when you find yourself in a situation where there's not transparency emotionally, it may feel triggering to you because you feel like you're back in one of those events again where you don't really know what's going on and then you feel unsafe because of that. So it seems like a lot is being pulled up because of this, but it's really giving you room, like as an adult, to psychologically analyze this situation, what's happening and what it's bringing up for you. So it's like very, very valuable. I'm seeing if you like journal or do any sort of like self-reflection or like meditate on this sort of stuff, it's going to be super helpful. Or if you have somebody that you can like talk this through with, that can be a sounding board for you, or like some way that you like privately work through this, it's going to be very, very helpful. Because I'm seeing it be about like your place within groups of people and just understanding like even the ecosystem of certain social groups, things like that, and how you are connected and involved within those things. Seems like it's better helping you understand things about like your identity and also like the roles that maybe you want to play, maybe the roles that you feel more comfortable playing, maybe also the roles that you don't want to be playing anymore, don't want to be assigning to yourself anymore. Like you can be looking at this and be like, I always assign myself this role when it comes to like groups of people. And I don't necessarily like that I step into that. And maybe I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe I want to come through in a different energy. Maybe I want to elevate myself in a different way. Yeah, look, the Magician. What do you want to create? What do you want to be within this situation? Like, you thinking about this and also altering your mindset, like allowing it to grow and move with the situation, to adapt and to better understand your feelings. It's going to give you a more solid sense of direction, rather than just feeling like you have to be in a repeat of these cycles time and time again. Seeing you feel like you have to sort of like cross a river and climb a mountain emotionally, but it's going to be worth it to you when you get to the top. Speaking of emotions, we have the Queen of Cups that just came out. This is about you understanding the way that you feel and then being able to manifest from that space, like connecting with your heart chakra, being like, what feels right for me? What am I feeling? What am I thinking about how I'm feeling? How am I understanding that? How am I conceptualizing that? And then how do I create from an open heart space where I'm so connected with myself that I'm able to show up within the emotional capacity within this situation that I want to be showing up in? This is like strength of heart, being able to understand how you're feeling within a situation, being able to connect with how you want to be showing up emotionally, and then being able to manifest that energy in you showing up within the situation. This is also about like when you connect with your heart, asking yourself like, what type of scenario do I want to be creating and playing within as well? Like, what am I trying to experience and what am I trying to act out here? Definitely like manifesting from the open heart space, being very important here. Bringing love into the equation for sure. Starting with self-love. So maybe you're just going to approach this situation differently. It feels like that energy that you needed before, that you wanted to come through and include you, like you're stepping into that actually yourself. Like you're manifesting yourself into the energy of the Queen of Cups. So it's like, say you wish that somebody would come and like take you under their wing. Like you are stepping into that energy. Like you're being the energy that you needed. And that's what you're embracing. And you're taking that as a sign of this group is lacking that, or this situation is missing that. And so I'm going to be the one to stand in instead. That is the energy that I'm going to emanate. I'm going to express myself in what I feel like is missing within this scenario. Because before you could have been like, I don't know, feeling like this little, for some of you there are 3 people involved because I'm hearing triad. You feel like whatever has been like missing, whatever elements have been missing within this collaboration, you're in a space where you're going to fill in the gaps here. This is what I'm seeing. But you want to be mindful of keeping your heart open. I was seeing the Hierophant before. Some of you I'm seeing definitely significant Taurus placements. I'm also looking at Virgo. To have Pluto and the Sun here, some of you may have Pluto aspecting your Sun within your birth chart. This can be like a lot of ego deaths that you go throughout like your lifetime, where like your ego and your sense of self and your identity is like constantly evolving and changing and shedding and transforming, meaning you may feel very different now than you did, say, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You may feel like you're constantly like evolving into like what you actually are and shedding through the self-reflection that you do. And also through your interactions and relationships that you have with other people. It seems like this is also teaching you about your self-worth when you are working with other people. This goes beyond just your one-on-one relationships. When there are like multiple energies within the exchanges that are happening, like how do you want to be treated? What do you feel is okay with you? What do you feel is not okay with you? This is about understanding your expectations as well, and also bringing the element of emotions being involved in these like social settings that you find yourself in. It's about working through it, even when it's difficult to work through it, because it can be challenging to not really know what's going on and to spend the time figuring that out. And sometimes it can be frustrating because it's like, why isn't it just clear what's going on here? And this is taking the time to look at a situation as a puzzle and figure it out, rather than just feeling a type of way because something isn't automatically making sense to you. It's working for it to make sense and sitting with it until it does. And this is also about, to have Pluto and the Sun here, this is about like checking your ego. It's also about understanding how you want to express yourself, how you also may not have been expressing yourself, and now how you're going to step into expressing yourself with this group of people, whoever this is, and you analyzing that. I'm hearing conference. Okay, so this is what you're manifesting on an emotional level. And also, to have the Hierophant here, this can be related to how you believe you should be showing up. Morally, what you feel is aligned with how you're interacting within this setting. Like what feels right for you emotionally. This means too that if you were doing something before that you felt wasn't truly aligned with your higher self, you are kicking that into gear here. I'm seeing the Six of Wands, so this situation is actually really going to go in your favor for sure. It's just a matter of you working through it and allowing yourself the process, the grace to move through. So we're looking at Taurus, Mercury, Virgo, Sun, Pluto. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.